From the 19th of March to the 20th, a two-day agritourism policy setting workshop was held here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the conference room of the Beachcombers Hotel at Villa. The workshop, which was organized in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the Technical Center for Agricultural and Rural Cooperation, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, had as its objectives to promote linkages between the agri-food sector and the tourism industry to increase sustainable local sourcing of fresh and processed agricultural and fisheries products through an effective agritourism policy, to increase the understanding and awareness of the current deficiencies in the supply of food products along the value chain, and to identify the actions needed. To design intersectoral and inclusive policies which promote public-private sector partnerships for improved local food use and consumption by the tourism and food service sectors, and to review the strategy for the development of farm tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking at the opening ceremony was Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Soboto Caesar.
If I am to assess agritourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where we are now and where we want to be, we have to move from subsistence agritourism to commercial agritourism. There's something very important for the sustainability of any business. If you don't have customers, if you don't have a throughput, you will not have a viable business. If you don't have a market, you could have the best product in the world. After a while, you'll realize that you are not creating the livelihoods that you expected. I am very happy today to underscore the point that this very unique marriage between agriculture and tourism, that we have significantly most of the facets already in place. To create an industry, you need land, you need labor, you need capital, you have the entrepreneurship and the technology. The farmers already have the land. And in this case, there will be a working relationship between the farmers and persons in the tourism sector so that we can create that product. But we will languish in our quest to create a commercial product if we do not have the capital injection. And we have to spend some time not only speaking about the product that we want to have, but how we are going to raise the money to create that product. Because if you don't have the capital to inject, to create the product, you are not going to have a business that can create the sorts of income that will attract other persons to the subsector. I see very soon in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that we can have a thriving medicinal cannabis tourism subsector. It will be a major plank in our thrust to develop a national agro-tourism product.
Agriculture and tourism are important sectors in many small island developing states, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The agricultural sector has over the years focused on the production of primary commodities for domestic consumption or trade in regional or extra-regional markets. The tourism sector provides an avenue for increased sale of high-quality, nutritious, and healthy foods that can be consistently provided for the operation of hotels and restaurants. Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Honorable Cecile Mackey, was present and made some remarks.
Indeed, our history will show that agriculture and tourism have dominated our economic landscape over the past century. From cotton, to sugarcane, to bananas, and now to tourism. Together, they have driven the economy as the lead productive sectors and accounts for a large percent of our GDP. Presentations over the next 2 days will flesh out and focus on each separately and then establish and strengthen the links between both with a view towards establishing clear policy guidelines to stimulate and develop across both sectors. We will focus on the vulnerability of both, the importance of moving from a monocrop reality to a diversified agro base, and from a $1 million tourism industry to a potentially $1 trillion tourism sector, where sport tourism, festival tourism, health tourism, and now agritourism will be the buzzwords. I'm sure that the spread of our investment portfolio, port facilities, air facilities, availability of markets, air and sea transportation, the emerging medical marijuana industry, renewable energy, the SVG reality, will all be added to the mix as we advance the agro-tourism concept and model. Our vulnerability to natural disasters, climate change, the impact of pests and diseases, and the mitigation measures required will all be part of your dialogue over the next 2 days. Agrotourism is a type of vacation in which hospitality is offered to locals and visitors alike, which may include activities such as farming, tasks during visits, where tourists have an opportunity to pick fruits and vegetables, ride a donkey, taste honey, shop in gift shops and farm stands for local produce or handcrafted gifts or souvenirs. Farm tours generally offers a unique and memorable experience suitable for the entire family. People are more interested in how their food is produced and want to meet the producers and talk to them about what goes into their food. Particularly, culinary festivals and events have become more prevalent in propelling agro-tourism advancement.
The sector's food purchasing bill is often quite high in comparison to the size of the economy. Yet much of this is spent abroad, even though supplies are available from local producers. At the same time, the increasing numbers of tourists visiting the country are seeking new experiences about our way of life, including rural experiences that could include farm tours. This provides an opportunity to foster linkage between both sectors, providing economic opportunities for stakeholders and other entrepreneurs. IICA's agrotourism expert, Ina Harvey, outlined the benefits of agrotourism.
The World Travel and Tourism Council once did a report saying that agrotourism represents the most direct form of relieving poverty, especially in rural areas, because when a tourist comes to a rural area, they hand the money to a farmer, to a farm family. Diversification of farm income while keeping land in production. Investment and income earning opportunities for women, families, youth, indigenous communities, and value added and retention of origin in rural areas. I always like when I give a presentation to talk about some key messages. We need to be clear on why we are in tourism and who should benefit from tourism. Local communities cannot be an afterthought or means to an end to protect tourism investment. Tourism cannot be successful without a sustainable food production sector and climate-smart agriculture. Agricultural biodiversity and heritage and the culture of food in the Caribbean enhance the value proposition of a sustainable tourism product. Agrotourism must therefore be integrally linked to food and nutrition security and to the management of chronic non-communicable diseases, which is sweeping our region to the extent that childhood obesity is rampant right through our region. How do we make it work? The facilitation, coordination, and growth of agrotourism as a distinct economic activity requires the emergence of institutions and partnerships that can coordinate, plan together, manage events together, promote together, advertise, and manage information. As such, I'm very pleased that we have the Ministry of Tourism and all of you stakeholders here this morning to discuss the key elements of a policy framework which is key and basic to facilitating linkages, and to identify some priority areas for project development here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
George Alsey, representative of the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, was present at the workshop.
This collaboration with the CHTA, IICA, started in 2016 with the OECS, our contribution under the 10 PDF, where we, under our program, worked with all the countries, but more specifically leading up to this project, we supported the participation of 3 chefs from the OECS, namely one from Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent of the Grenadines. IICA also at this time supported other stakeholders to participate in the CTA workshop at the Caribbean Week of Agriculture of 2016, which was entitled Investing in Agribusiness Development in the Caribbean, Successes, Innovations, and Impact. It was at this workshop that the input of all stakeholders there that this project was born. The OECS vision, which is a better quality of life for the people of the OECS, to reach this vision, to achieve this vision, we acknowledge the contribution that the 2 economic sectors of agriculture and tourism can make. But also we further recognize that by creating the linkages between the 2 sectors, that this vision of quality of life can be advanced. Taking advantage of the opportunities of the inbound tourism market by creating and positioning a marketable product and service offering is one example of advancing this vision. The investment opportunities for agriculture tourism goes beyond visitors consuming local foods at hotels. With a movement towards experiential tourism, many visitors are seeking experiences that place local foods in the context of place. Food tourism, food festivals, farm to table, and farm to spa all create very memorable experiences that our visitors are looking for and that we need to fully explore.